I said, baby, baby, it's 3 a.m. I must be hungry. Okay.
Oh, Lord.
Welcome to 3 a.m. Junk Food, the show where me and my hetero life mate Antonio watch movies and then pillow talk about them for your enjoyment. This week on 3 a.m. Junk Food, we are going to talk about Mortal Kombat, the movie that just came out based on a video game. Also, had a 1995 movie. It's a kind of a gritty remake of a video game that came out in 1993. Has had many games, has a ton of lore and people who love it. Yeah, so they made a movie about it because they thought they could make some money off of it. It's the story of a man and his family who finds out that he is the descendant of a long line of classic, powerful ninja warriors. And, well, he doesn't know that yet. Anyway, the movie is about every generation. A tournament is fought to see whether or not Outworld can invade Earthrealm. And it's called Mortal Kombat and has been fought for generations. With K. It's very important that it's misspelled.
Referenced it multiple times in the movie. Good job, guys.
One time. I'm trying to deliver the plot. What are you doing? Anyway. So basically they fight, but the evil sorcerer Shang Tsung does not wish to have a tournament this year because he doesn't feel like he needs to. So he's just going to try and kill all of Earth's champions before they can have a tournament, and that way he can just conquer Earthrealm. And that's what we have our movie. Yeah, this movie came out on HBO MAX and in theaters because of, COVID. Are we allowed to talk about code, or are we going to get demonetized?
We're already demonetized.
We're already demonetized.
Happened, yeah.
It's already,
YouTube
it already happened. YouTube already did it.
YouTube overlords.
Yeah.
Sorry.
The gods of YouTube. The elder gods. Similar to Mortal Kombat, which is what we're talking about. Yeah. So likes and dislikes is kind of what we're going to go into now. I'll go ahead and do my likes first. In terms of action, wonderful. Brutal, violent action. It's right up my alley. It's the kind of thing that I like. Gore. It was a gore fest. There were so many moments during the fight scenes where they did special moves and fatalities from the Mortal Kombat games. Like literally did them in live action. That was incredible. We got there was tons of fan service for fans of the games. In terms of movies, there was fan service for games. There was nostalgia from the games. I really liked the actors who played Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and specifically Kano. He was outstanding. But yeah, that was the stuff that I liked. What kind of stuff did you have that you liked about the movie?
Well, I absolutely loved certain characters.
Right.
Certain characters,
right.
Not so much, but yeah, Sub-Zero, Scorpion, Kano all stood out the whole movie. Sub-Zero and Scorpion absolutely just made the movie in the beginning and the end. In the middle, weren't really there. Sub-Zero kind of, but yeah, mainly the beginning and end were just really good and overall. But with only 3 characters and you have multiple characters in the movie, then there could have been more. The fighting I noticed specifically was it's probably one of my favorite fight movies. If I was to watch another fight movie, you want to put it on, and the music that goes along with the fighting, it's absolutely spectacular.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The reason I like Kano is because of his dialogue. I don't know who wrote it, but it's hilarious, and it's crass and mean, and he swears a lot, and it's just a very relatable kind of jerk. That's kind of like my...
Yeah, I think a lot of dudes... There's a...
Bros?
You know who you
Bros. I don't know if they still exist from...
Oh, they do.
The early 2000s.
They are going to love Kano.
Yeah.
Because he tells it like it is. But no, he's just a jerk. Yeah.
I couldn't hang out with Kano.
I couldn't either. He's a jerk.
You know what I mean?
He gets really mad and then
watching him
beats women.
Fantastic.
He beats up women for no reason. He has an ego the size of Texas.
I was thinking Rhode Island, but Texas, yeah. way more accurate.
The size of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Rhode Island's the smallest state.
It's the size of a state, though.
What? Okay, so we're gonna move on to dislikes now. So the first thing I'll say is dislikes is this is not a well-written movie. It is exposition heavy to get from one plotting scene to the next plotting scene so that you can get to the next cool fight scene. The first 7 minutes are incredible because it sets up Scorpion, Hanzo Hazashi, his entire life story, his backstory. It sets that up beautifully. And then you just don't see him until the end of the movie. That is infuriating. Don't set up this amazing character who's very clearly going to be like the main character and then not show him again for the entire movie. It's like a shit sandwich. Amazing bread on the bottom, amazing bread on top. Those are the two Sub-Zero Scorpion fights. And in between is everything else, other than Kano. So I guess there's bacon on it. So it's like there's bacon on the shit
crap,
sandwich.
right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like little flavorings and stuff, like all little cool quotes and some of the dialogue and some of the fatalities and stuff. But it's mostly just crap. Man, yeah, the beginning of the movie tricks me to think it's going to be this like really amazing, like
yeah, it starts out like this art house,
really
beautiful.
Really sells you.
It's like The Last Samurai.
Just leg sweeps you. Then
And
gives
then
you
it's
this crap
just
movie.
like, ah! You thought you were here for a good movie. Turns out you're watching a B action movie with Mortal Kombat characters.
Like when a normal person watches it, Raiden shows up and they're probably like, "Wait, hold on. Why is Scorpion like surrounded in fire and like disappearing? And why is Raiden showing up?
Yeah, it makes no sense.
Why is weird stuff happening?
It's
and then that leads into the corniness of the movie, where you just watch Cole, which is supposed to be a representation of you, the viewer,
as a new
just
person,
get
a layman who doesn't know
your
the
ass
story.
whipped. And that's what's going to happen. You're going to get your ass whipped because you thought it was going to be a really, really good movie, but no, it's just the beginning and ending. But I'll tell you, the beginning is a pretty good setup for the ending, and the ending has a really good payoff. Just really, honestly, if you just skip the middle.
You could have figured out that middle part.
Man, so once
would you have had a good movie.
Once Raiden shows up, skip to the part where Sub-Zero and Scorpion show up at the end. Just skip the whole middle part.
Basically, that's
a great movie right there.
Just make it a short film, about 12 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's just the first 7 minutes and the last 5. And you'll have a great short film.
There's a part at the end when Scorpion says, spoiler alert, I have risen from hell to kill you. And I was hyped. I was like, yes, perfect.
All right. That also is a thing. That's my number 2 pet peeve in this movie. They didn't explain squat.
Why did he rise?
Why did he rise from
trained in
Why
hell
was
or
he
something?
able to go to hell and train and just learn how to command hellfire?
I think it was Raiden that was like, oh, he's been
Why
training
is he
this
able
whole
to
time
just
in hell.
show
He
up?
just trained in hell.
He just shows
like
up.
a freaking crowd.
He just shows up.
A time chamber.
Why is Sub-Zero immortal all of a sudden where he just doesn't age?
He comes back as Super Saiyan Scorpion
What?
to fight Sub-Zero.
What? Shang
It was a way better battle.
Shang Tsung just shows all of these extra bonus villains that you're supposed to that are just there to be fatality'd.
The guy with the giant hammer, I realized both times.
Why
I watched
was
the
he
movie,
there?
I don't even know. I had to look up who the heck he even was.
I know
Did
who
you
the
know him?
actor is because
No,
he
you know
was
the
in
character, though.
WWE.
I think it was like Rico or Rocco
I
or
had
something.
to do actual research to find out who that was with the hammer. Turns out his name is Prince Rico, and he's in love with Shao Kahn. Wouldn't know that.
What?
Yeah, he's a general of his army.
Why wasn't that in the movie?
He worked his way up because he was
would've
in
been great.
love with him. He was in
Dang
love with
it.
Shao Kahn. But you know
Missed
what?
opportunity.
Wasn't in the movie. All he does is he growls and he swings the hammer around a little bit, and he gets his head clapped by Jax.
But
and that's it.
I did recognize that actor from other movies, so I was like, oh, that's cool. That's that one giant guy with the huge head.
His name is Nathan Jones. He was a terrible wrestler, and
he was
then
a
he
really
went to
good
Hollywood,
B-movie fighter.
and he's just this
But he's
giant who just shows up in movies.
He's only good because he does just terrible facial expressions. He's an awful actor.
He goes,
he's huge.
That's it.
And he has
And
a
he's
cartoonish like face, straight out like Dragon Ball
He's
Z.
literally there to be murked by smaller guys to make them look tough. and that's his. He was a waste of potential. If you're gonna have a character, have that character's backstory, at least a little smidge of it. Like, don't do like Suicide Squad where it's like her sword captures the souls of those that are killed. Like, I don't need that.
The impersonation's too good. It's hurting.
It's so bad.
It's
Hey,
a terrible movie.
That's not a movie we're talking about right now. That'll
Sorry
be a different
for bringing
review.
that up. If we hurt your feelings.
Yeah, if you have
Bad
PTSD
movie.
from seeing that piece of trash, we apologize. But
I haven't been talking with people about this movie. I don't even know if they like it. I love certain parts of it.
everybody who
Those
watches
are
the
certain
movie
parts of it.
who isn't any kind of film critic or doesn't think critically about movies loves it because it has
Fun.
exactly what it's fun.
A lot of fun.
It's fun because it's just stupid, turn your brain off action. Don't think about why does he know? Why does he only speak Japanese except for "get over here"? Why does he know that one phrase in English? That doesn't make sense.
Well, he learned English in hell apparently.
Apparently, they have a good multilingual class in hell
Yeah.
that you can go. You go to hell school and they teach you the languages.
There's a flashback with him and hell. He's just walking around, so that's what hell is. Just kind of walk around. You have a really determined look on your face, obviously, because you're gonna rise from hell like you do.
Which he had no reason to do. Why didn't he do it before?
I would have been okay if he went full skull head.
Oh, me too.
Just the whole thing. You're not trying to prove anything anymore. You already had a whole bunch of just dumb crap in the middle.
Arcana is stupid. That's my number 3 thing.
Yeah,
I understand why they did it. It was the fastest and easiest way to get around why they have magic powers. I understand there's not enough time to explain everybody's magic powers, but don't call it Arcana was the worst thing. Call it
Hey,
chi.
Ray, what if we
Call
don't
it
get our
anything.
magic powers?
I
If we
guess
don't
you'll
get our-
die.
I guess you'll die.
I guess you'll die.
I don't know if you should be
We're gonna
banking
lose.
on this weird thing that we don't even know about. That's fine. How are we
We'll
gonna
be
get our
fine.
powers? Leg sweeps.
Yeah.
Try that. Or talk crap to
turns
each
out,
other.
What I've discovered is that you get powers if you get repeatedly punched in the face.
How about the main character?
Uh,
He just fails at getting Okana.
Cole. Oh,
Just go
God.
home. Well, you failed at Okana, Cole. I've only been driving for like a day or two.
It's
Just
a
go
day
home.
and a half.
Just go home, Cole. You're a failure. Well, I
Get
guess
out
I'm
of
a
here.
failure
You're
in
not
life,
meant for
so
this tournament.
I guess I'm a
It's
failure in this
been
weird
a
fantasy
day.
world too.
Okay. I was a terrible fighter. Apparently Raiden thinks I'm a terrible fighter. So I guess I'll just walk in this lightning door and just go home.
He looks like he could be a model. Did you try being a model, Cole, before you started
Yeah.
trying to save the world?
Somehow his face looks normal, even though he gets punched repeatedly in it.
Amazing.
Uh,
That man's
just-
face hasn't
it's
been
just-
hitting his whole life.
Plot holes.
Bad writing.
It's full of plot holes and bad writing, and it's just
All the backstory's trash.
it's just barely held together with the glue of the really genuinely good fight scenes. But the acting isn't great, other than maybe three or four people.
In the beginning, it's like, hey, look, there's a tournament. Okay, I knew that. And they're like, just kidding, not
Just
a
kidding.
tournament.
There's no tournament in this one. There'll be a tournament in the sequel. Well,
Okay,
did
so
you make
you
a
already
good movie
threw
in the
out-
first place?
You already threw out the rule that there needs to be a tournament. It says no point in ever having a tournament now because you just try to kill each other randomly. As a group for some reason? Why don't you single each other out?
Just
Hey, Sub-Zero, you try to kill like a couple guys. That didn't work. Okay, now we'll go group by group. What? Yeah, this movie doesn't make any sense.
it's
Fight's
just,
fun.
but the fighting's fun, and it's gonna have all the sequels. You can already tell.
Yeah. I wonder if they're gonna keep that thing where they make a shit sandwich each time.
Probably.
Like amazing. Fight in
Awesome.
the beginning and end.
like this.
Make
huge,
sure it's
Watch,
wonderful actors.
The next movie is gonna be the Siege of Edenia, which is like one of the other worlds. It was the first world that got conquered. It was so in the storyline before they tried to conquer Earthrealm, right? They went to do. They conquered Edenia, which is Shao Kahn conquered this realm called Edenia, which is where Katana's from, which is where Sindale's from. Anyway, what he did to that world is why there's the Mortal Kombat tournament for Earthrealm, because the Elder Gods decided they weren't going to let that happen to Earthrealm. So I imagine that in the next movie, it's like this huge, beautiful 7-minute battle sequence of Edenia, like flashback, and then it's just going to be like flash forward to like Cole and his family eating spaghetti. And then he gets a text message from Jax like, "Oh, the tournament's starting. I guess I better go train.
I hope the text message is from
God.
Shokan. It's like Shokan. Next tournament's coming up. Who is this? Shokan. I'm what is this? It's the Emperor of something.
I want him to do like he texts, and it's like, prepare for
An
mortal.
emoji?
Prepare for mortal.
Skulls. Skulls and fire.
Prepare for Mortal Kombat, and it autocorrects to the combat to the actual word, and then he puts down like, and then you see the ellipses, and then it just comes up like actual like asterisk K combat, and that would be.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just not good, and it's not good from any critical standpoint, but it doesn't.
I haven't seen the Rotten Tomatoes score.
I almost think it doesn't have to be good, because as long as it does those key things and makes the fans of the game happy, specifically older fans who didn't have the like amazing story mode version, and they just played a cool fighting game, they're gonna like it. They're gonna love it.
I did. I didn't know the story.
Just brutal violence. That's all you need to have, and then some cool parts, and like one character who's funny, and that's what Kano was. Kano was funny. Didn't have his robot eye, because apparently we just use magic and not science, because that makes sense. That's easier. You could just use science and it would be just as simple.
I didn't know he had a robot eye.
We're reviewing it, and you didn't even know Kano had a robot eye.
I'm not going to research the 150
Okay, that's
characters
fine.
or whatever.
There's like not that many.
I studied the movie twice. I watched it twice, took notes. But
Kano has a robot eye.
I'm not going to study this game to review this movie.
Jax just had weird freaking erector set arms. They were just terrible.
Oh, we gotta make his arms worse so that way when they get better,
magically advanced robot arms, and they look like freaking Transformer arm. Like it looks like a Transformer transforming when his arms finally come together.
So the writers were like, "Hey, these arms are okay, but how do we make them look better? Let's initially give him trash arms.
Look like they were made of wood,
like from like a U-Pullet of weird metal organs.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's really bad. It's just sad.
So I'm gonna go ahead and throw out a headcanon here real quick. Headcanons are.
He's gonna try to fix the movie, I think.
I'm gonna fix the movie.
Good luck, man.
Here's all you do. Get rid of Cole. First off, replace Cole with Jax. Yeah. Jax is now the main character. Jax is no longer played by whoever the hell. He's played by Michael J. White. Yeah. And the daughter is Jackie Briggs from the game. And he's a boxer now who used to be in the military. And Sonya Blade comes and tells him, well, I have this company, this agency that I now work for. And it's called Outer World Investigation Agency or something like that. I think that's what it was called in the game. And then it's like he says no, and then he gets attacked by Sub-Zero, and that's how he loses his arms. Raiden scares him off, and then Sonya takes him to the agency, which is also controlled by Cyber Initiative, which is also in the game. So that would have been even more of the nostalgia stuff that people wanted. And the cyber stuff is run by a South African scientist, which is what he is in the game, by Cyrax. And he's a scientist who is a good fighter, but he's mostly just smart. And he's a scientist. And he's the one who gives him his dang robot arms. And a reason why he's bad with them at first is because they're not his normal, natural arms. Which, of course, anybody who has seen anything or knows anyone who has a prosthetic limb knows you don't just immediately good with that prosthetic limb. He has to learn. It takes time. So that's that. At the agency, you just have Sonya Blade interrogating Kano, who knows where Raiden's temple is because he ran guns through there. It gets attacked. The agency gets attacked by Reptile. Cyrax gets mortally wounded. So later on in the series, you have a post-credit scene where Cyrax becomes a cyborg like he is in the game, and they escape. Cool. Kano kills him, does his fatality, punches his heart out, which was dope. That was cool. Kano now takes them out there. They get to the temple. They learn all about the tournament from Liu Kang, and then Shang Tsung shows up and they fight. Jax is like, I'm useless I'm not useful to anybody. I can't use these arms, and he leaves. But then he gets attacked by Goro with his family, and that's when he learns how to use the arms. And he fights back, and he does the clap thing, not to some useless character with a hammer, but to Goro. So it means something. It freaking means something. They regroup, but they regroup not in the void. They regroup in NetherRealm. and they're overheard by Scorpion. And my Scorpion hears that they have to, when he hears them say, "Who's going to take care of Sub-Zero?" Scorpion goes, and Raiden, who has now, we've realized that Raiden has known that Scorpion's there the entire time. And Raiden's like, "I think I know just the man to fight him." And he looks, and he realizes that Scorpion's there. And that was like the whole reason they came to NetherRealm in the first place. So they have their little branch off fights. Jax fights Melina. Sonya fights Kano. Liu Kang fights Cabal. And Scorpion fights Sub-Zero. We get rid of all the pretexts. It's just 1v1. Scorpion fights Sub-Zero, and obviously he beats him. And then Raiden's like, "Ha! Shang Tsung. Now you have to actually fight in the tournament, and you have to stop cheating." And Shang Tsung's like, "We will see who wins." And he like smokes away like he does. And yeah, the end of the movie is Jax going and saying he's not fighting for $200 anymore. And he's like, "I'm going to Hollywood to find this guy." And then it turns out he's going to find Johnny Cage. And it's just a simpler, but a more effective movie.
But also, they're going to act better.
Oh yeah, cast better actors.
They're
They're out there.
Actors,
You can get them. Cast people with martial arts backgrounds.
I bet
Anyway,
you
that's
made tons of money, though.
that's what I would have done. I feel like you would have the same level of brutality, more fan service, and just a more cohesive, simplified storyline. Because you're not trying to smush some new character in there that you don't need. The backstory's there for the characters that you already have. Just use those. When he's fighting Melina and Jax is about to get killed by Melina with the big, weird, scary face. Oh, that's another thing. Give Melina her freaking mask. Her face covering. So you just see the hot eyes and then the mask. So when she takes the mask off, you see the big scary face. You only have to pay for like 1 second of her big scary face. And Jax is like, "Ah!" And that's when Sonya reappears and just blasts Melina. It's so simple. It's so simple and so effective.
This is that we have Cole, right? You know why we have Cole? It's because of Mila Jovovich in Resident Evil.
I hate her. It's her fault.
Yeah, if she wasn't in Resident Evil, if they just had the main characters from the game. Yeah, we would have main characters.
Resident Evil, that game has survived for however many years with a character who doesn't exist in the games.
Yeah. Those movies are terrible. It's just because they're also relying on some other Resident Evil canon.
Anyway,
the whole canon.
I understand that it's the first movie. I understand that it's growing pains. I mean, hell, this is our first episode. Obviously, it's yeah. Oh, obviously, it takes time.
Here we
here.
There we go.
All right. It takes time. I get it. That being said, I don't know how you feel about it, but I would say. If I had to give it an overall grade based on enjoyment ability, I would give the movie A for enjoyment, because I really did enjoy it. I was hyped during all the fight scenes. Whenever the music from like the Mortal Kombat theme would kick in, I would get really hyped.
So did you catch when they did a very soft Mortal Kombat remix at the very end with Sub-Zero versus Scorpion?
That was cool.
It was just subtle enough that it was a nice little throwback.
Yeah. For enjoyment factor, yes. Were there a lot of things wrong with the movie? Absolutely.
Do they need to be a Mortal Kombat fan to enjoy it?
Yes.
Ooh, man. I think they could enjoy it if they were just a fight fan.
If you're a fan of...
But see, if you're a fight fan, you're probably better off just watching some Eastern Asian fight movie. There's tons that are better, that have better choreography, better acting, better stories too, if you don't mind.
No, see, and that's what I'm saying is, I think you have to be a Mortal Kombat fan. Because if you're not a Mortal Kombat fan, then the characters aren't as meaningful to you. And so if you're just watching it for like fighting, just go watch The Raid. It has way better fight scenes, or some other kung fu movie with way better fight scenes.
I've seen a lot of Tony Jaa movies, but I still haven't seen The Raid yet.
Raid's really good. But yeah, I would say yes, you have to be a Mortal Kombat fan. So from a non-Mortal Kombat fan perspective, if I was giving it a grade, probably a D-, because it's just kind of eh. It's not very good.
If you watch the beginning and end as just a short film, I think it's a really good movie, actually.
Yeah. But otherwise...
B, maybe. Yeah. If you just cut out the middle.
Anyway, yeah. So that's been our review of Mortal Kombat 2021. I hope you guys...
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Are we supposed to say that?
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Give us comments. Tell us what you didn't like, what you liked, what you want to see.
What we can improve on.
Yeah.
If you want to see more of the cat. Yeah, we realized he was here the whole time.
I don't even know if he's in frame. Is he in frame?
He might be in frame. He's cleaning himself.
I mean, do you like the cat?
He's going to be the character that everybody likes. They'll probably prefer just to watch 30 minutes of the cat and
just
us
the cat,
not
yeah.
talking. Anyway, yeah. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about a lot more movies, mostly nerd movies, but we're going to talk about lots of stuff.
Are we going to do this again?
Yeah, we're definitely going to do this again.
Yeah. All right.
This is not a one-off. Yeah.
Are we doing Zack Snyder next week?
I would say next week we're going to do Kong versus Godzilla.
Sucker Punch? We're not going to do a Sucker Punch?
We're going to do a Zack Snyder marathon of all of his best and worst work. Right.
We have to watch Sucker Punch again.
Yes.
Crap.
Anyway, cheers, guys.
Cheers, guys.
And remember, it's 3 a.m. I must be hungry.